Our team is formed by Diana Laura Bernal Bermúdez and Ania Judith Hernández Puerta. And the subject is the nature and origin of language. Mythologies of the ancients. The first is that language was believed to be a gift from God, and the second is that language was considered to have been involved in the intellectual process of creation, and that they thought there will be some mythical connection between word and sound and often some thinking suability of particular word of for its corresponding object. Among the most ancient theological formulations of ancient Egypt is the Mipite theology. This theology describes the connection and creation of the universe by the heart and tongue, of the good, bad, the seeing of the eyes, the, the hearing of the ears, and the swell of the air. Thorn the nose from the heart. Plato's belief in the natural connection between word and object was counteracted by Aristotle's adaptations. The convention theory of word original will Aristotle has not left a full study of the origin of language. It is clear from his writing of the use of language that he assumed that words got their meanings from an entirely arbitrary source, and in fact, he explicitly denies the natural meaning of words. For many years, it was thought that breeding the animals to be named in the creation story. For many years, it was thought that breeding the animals to be named in the creation story. Descartes was an early figure in the modern discussion of language. Language was not a major concept in his psychology, but it was important in the formation of his conception of human reason. He considers language to be one of the two main distinctions between man and animal. John Locke is well known for his assertion that the mind of man is a breed, a tabula rasa, a blank sadly ruling out the possibility of innate ideas. This will mean that language is there is a distinction between human and animal. Will be loved sometime after birth. Ba- Leibniz says, general terms serve not only for the perfection of language, but are necessary even for their essential constructions. For if by particular things we understand individual things, it will be possibly to will speak if there were only proper names and no appellatives. Another avocable of the view that language is conventional was Russell. His bit includes a curious twist of an element in discretis position. Language distinguishes man from the animal, not because it's innate and natural, but the very fact of its conventional nature makes it distinctive. Heather thrived on the ideas of Russell Condillac, and Russell must have been warned about the urine of language because they are so completely and yet so differently. As to this difference, that the former turning animals into men and the later turning men into animals. Heather position begins with the Socrates and language with reason and describability human factly. Descartes simply identified language as short and discouraging mark. He did not explain how it came to be so, nor did he explore the explanation of this identification. He deliberately examined the difference between man and animal, with far greater accuracy than Russell in an attempt to see how language fits into his difference. Freedom, reason, reflection, and similar powers believe the world being of men. Animals have none of these. Along with these things must be the ability to use language. For in animals, here agrees there are things that represent of limited language. Animals possess shared things according to the latitude of their sphere of activity. True language is fundamental to man, of as Heather says, language is as essential to man and his human nature. Driving teaches a language as these other characteristics attractive. Third natural section. Driving says, I cannot violate a language owes its origin to the imitation and modification of various natural sounds, the voices of animals and man's own instructed cries, abide, beat, sings, and gestures.
Darwin, of course, was a biologist, not a linguist, a biologist of releases. The objectives voice of the linguists called not privately Angus scientifics. This they commonly also contribute to the language called phenocomplementics. Uh, the Linguistic Society on Paris got fundamental influence in the biology was the probability, not communication. On the origin of the language could be accepted. The language one speaks closely correlates the way one attitudes on the things and the views the world. Uh, Language had may play turn in a gift of good. The language is involved in the process. The good is represented by the mode, the border, the gift, the name communication. When a baby is born can have a language, but it does not have a language. Here it's during the language come from musical rhythm. For example, animal language, person language. Language articulates on the system exclusive to human language. Onomatopoeias so system release. Language is key evaluation of the language in the heuristic and complete on the period. In the time and the third course also field is described in the history of Tower. Um, The payments and the truth, the confused and the tongue and the good, the musical and the interesting difficult. In the interesting tick at Boristic divergent. At any received something clear and the different thought gauge of me most in having arresting and the exactly. Read the history and the Levit on the language Soviet one on which uh, for that language and existed with the most assistant. This modern language has become in the course of time some different as to hit virtuality nothing. This is how this is streams from greetings mean be with mean and relativity history of minking of human conversion cannot of the deeming what can be defined and the any meaning has very been important to language be the grain of meant even when the meetings the arbitrarily assigned to the words such words music and original be defined big words with not arbitrarily meaning work have Levitin etymology at the here backs a history of meaning strange but the word the original language. Greetings and the philosophy, language and the system from the Lord be the correspondent is als perfectly natural. Original language had not the exclusive element of human conversation. The first language, however, has no vital modified and represents in of dozen different strands it means artifice.